Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, southwest London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB. And we're here this morning to judge the latest dream car competition, which ran from the 23rd to the 29th of November 2020. Just before I hand over to the lawyer this morning, once again, massive congratulations to last week's winner of the dream car competition, Declan Halfpenny, winning not only a DeLorean, but also £70,000, as all the cars now come with £50,000, and he ticked the box for the 20k as well. I'd now like to pass over to Robin Cumming from Onside Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's Robin Cumming from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditors as is. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer and really looking forward to starting playing again this Saturday.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for the best part of 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, mentor, tutor and observer.
Hi, I'm Matthew Ray. I've affiliated in multiple counties across England, currently in Gloucestershire, and have refereed from grassroots through to professional academies.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and am now a senior county referee.
Good morning, my name is Peter Giorgio. I am a futsal and football referee.
Hi, my name's Renee Hector and I'm a football player for Watford FC Women and I'm a coach for Tottenham Hotspur Foundation.
Hi, my name is Ermin Donka. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite. I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 10 individual selections.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Morning. So we've got three players in shot. Obviously, it looks like it's an uncontested, call it a challenge, uncontested situation where it looks like the player in the white is sort of stopping. It looks like he's sort of stopping himself in his legs. And the player in blue to me looks like he's favourite to play. And we've got a player in the background who is a bit in motion, but he's looking across. But let me draw some lines initially from this player. So that's a fairly narrow band. And then again from this player upwards. Take a second eye. So again, it's a fairly small quadrant, but there's myself and Kieran a little bit lower, and we got three a little bit higher. If I take you, Ari, you're the light green cross here. You're just below the calculated average. What are your thoughts on the picture of the challenge and things?
Yeah, I felt that the ball is clearly descending towards the player in blue in the middle. His facial expression, his body language, he tells me that he's the one who's going to play the ball. The player in right, as you well said, he's stopping. He knows that he's not going to get, so he's only looking for the second. After he controlled the ball, he will probably try to challenge from there. The player in the back in blue is still in motion, and I still used even his face is out of focus, but he gives me a clearly idea that he's looking towards that direction as well. Then I just followed the eye lines and place my cross where it is.
Yeah, I'll bring his two lines in from his. Nigel, you're at the top here. You're just slightly higher than everybody else, but you're with both Leo and Matthew. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I took obviously as you say, they're quite narrow sight lines for the two players in the foreground. The players in the background's got his eyes blurred. He's a bit of an onlooker. But yeah, I took where I put it, the height of it, as much as anything, from the player in white. Looking at his eyes, I felt his head was angled slightly up, and he was looking across the bridge of his nose. So I sort of used that as a cross reference. Yeah, as I agree with everybody else, the player in blue is, he's on the he's leaning across on the move and looking up at an angle at the ball. More of a three-dimensional look for the player in blue. I think the player in white is pretty much flat, looking straight across the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, I'll bring in Kieran. You're down with me at the bottom, Kieran, because I actually thought this player in white, although as it's been said by Nigel that his head is slightly back, I thought he was looking at a lower trajectory. So I'd value what you would think, Kieran.
Yeah, I thought the same as well. I think the player in blue is going to play the ball first, like everybody else thinks. I think it's just a little bit closer to him than maybe some of our colleagues. It's obviously a three-dimensional picture. It's coming in from a distance, but he's got his mouth open, his hands sort of ready just to position his body in such a way to play the ball, but it's still a little bit away, even where I've put the cross or where we've put the cross. I think the ball's still a little bit further away, but more imminent. And I also felt the player in blue at the back was looking a little bit more towards the direction that we've got our crosses than the others. That's why I placed my cross there.
Yeah. And going back to the middle near where the calculated average, Rene, you're, I would say, the closest to the calculated average of us all, and just see how you saw the situation.
Yeah, similarly to everybody else, obviously, it looks like everybody's got a pretty similar eye line for the blue player in the middle. I've tried to go off all three players, so I felt like the player in white was just looking ever so slightly up, not too much. Hence why I've sort of gone in the middle. But then the player in blue at the back, I tried to go off his eye line as well, even though it's a bit more out of focus. I felt like he was looking slightly to the left, the way he's positioned. And yeah, obviously the ball's clearly coming into the player in the middle for him to play it. So that's why I put my cross there.
Yes, that's a good point you make, Rennie, that there's sort of 6 on the lower level and sort of 4 up high. I mean, Leo, you're up high or higher than some of us and up near Nigel. What were your thoughts if I just send to you?
Yeah, no, I felt the player in white was looking a little bit higher. I think the player in blue, who I felt was probably going to head the ball, he doesn't look quite set to me, Matt. Just with his body language, I think if he was going to head it, his body shape would be slightly different. So, and that's why I think it's just the ball's a little bit further away as well.
Yeah. I mean, could you agree with Kieran as a sort of footballer? I mean, you could see his thigh muscles are sort of, so he's obviously on the halt, and as Kieran said, his arms up and his mouth's open, so he looks like whether he'll chest it or play it on, or maybe not even head it. I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree. His body's sort of slightly going to his left, so he's still sort of moving, adjusting himself slightly. But I just feel his, even his arms would be different if he was going to head this ball. But like you said, Matt, maybe he's going to chest the ball. But I think it's just a little bit away, but very slightly. I mean, obviously, looking at this photograph, there's Kieran and myself who are on the low side. If I was to remove Kieran and myself, the calculated average goes into the center of the rest of the cluster, and obviously then it gives 4 at the lower point and 4 at the higher point. So I don't know how people feel about that, and whether if I put us back in again and bringing it down into that sort of lower level. So
Matt, we've sometimes used where we've picked the average as if it covers all the crosses with the circle as the ball. So for me, I think with you two removed, it did touch all 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's better balanced, personally, and I know we've used that previously as a marker.
Yeah. And Matthew, what would your thoughts be if I just remove Kieran and myself again?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if we're really struggling to sort of justify the higher position, I do think his eyes are looking up, which is why I've picked you could always just remove 1 to take the average slightly lower, because it has quite a big difference, just removing one as opposed to removing two. I prefer removing two, but if we're struggling, I could understand the compromise.
Yeah, I don't think we're struggling, and I think that the way we've judged this as a panel decision, I think it would be a bit autocratic of me to say keep one of either Kieran or myself in when we are, if we put us back in again and then go over the calculated average, we're outside the magnified circle which we use as the ball, and also really you bring the top three out of the calculated average as well. So I think it would be hard to justify, certainly to the players of this competition, leaving either Kieran and myself in. So I think going forward, I think it's logical for me to remove as head judge myself and Kieran and go to a panel decision about whether to move forward. So Nigel, and if you could just explain a little bit, as opposed to a yes or no, whether you're happy and why, but sort of briefly, if you may.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it covers all of the crosses, almost completely. Can't see any of the crosses behind the ball, placed like that. And I think that's it's clearly the consensus of us.
Yeah. Okay. And Hugh.
Yeah, happy, covers it, as I said, and I think we're clustered in that group, so
yeah,
much happy with that average.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah, I'm happy with that too. It does cover the cluster, and it really makes sense in the context of the image as well. So I like that.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Leo?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's slightly in a better position.
Yeah. Okay. Kieran?
Well, I think that's where you've got to place the cross. I think you've got 8 people around around the circle there. I think, although I think it's in a different position, I can see why they think it's there, and I think that's a fair position to put it in.
Okay, fine. Peter?
Yes, I think that works well. I mean, you could possibly have taken your if you left yourselves in it, I think it actually balances it out in regards to you've got 2 lower and you got 3 slightly higher but closer. So you could argue that, but I think this does work.
Yeah, thank you. Renee?
Yeah, I think almost the crosses that are in now almost encompass sort of almost the circumference of the ball, and the white cross is bang on in the middle. So I'm happy for it to be there.
Yeah, and Ari?
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with the position. I cannot even see the crosses behind the zoom. So yeah, I do agree.
Okay, and lastly, Andy.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I think the majority of us have used the guy in the background in blue, furthest left of the screen, uses eye line a lot. And if we were to redraw that, the green line from his left eye, that would probably be like all 3 lines are pretty narrow. So yeah, I feel that is the better.
We can draw him up like that before we progress on.
So even though we've taken yourself and Kieran out, we're all pretty much, including yourselves, pretty much tight on, especially the other 2. But it's just that the majority of us picked the guy from the background.
Yeah, thank you. That way. I mean, I'm in agreement with Kieran. I do think it's slightly lower, but if we look at it as a picture, I think as Matthew pointed out, that it does look like a good photograph. It looks like a good balance between the 3 players. Okay, thank you, Robin. I think we've decided to judge at the average with both myself and Kieran removed.
Great, thanks, Matt. If you're all happy, then please click submit.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are 744422. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditors as to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.